Are we recording, Cameron?
Yes.
All right, cool. So what we're gonna do together is we're gonna be creating an irresistible offer. Who would like to share what an irresistible offer is?
An offer that you can't resist.
Yeah, that's right. First of all, Lord help me. I hope we have enough time for this. I need to know what to say, what not to say. The number one thing that we have to consider is, first of all, who we are trying to reach. So this is like our dream student. These are the people that we really want to help. These are the problems that we want to specifically help. And this is like going an inch wide and a mile deep with this dream student. Find out all of their problems, their issues, their challenges. And that was weird. Find out all of their challenges and then just fix them. Like with a value ladder, the benefit of like a value ladder or an ascension ladder is every time that they step up, we go more into depth, more training, and then it like transforms them even better as they go. But and then the second thing that we need to figure out is what are the results that we want to help them with. The foundation of what we're doing here is figuring out the results of the experience, the transformation that we want them to we want to help them have. Remember what we were talking about when it was kind of like where they are now, and then like this, they got this big mountain to climb, and then like where they want to be. That is the entire purpose of like information products, be they books or courses or coaching or something, is to help someone to get from point A to point B. And what we want to do today is try to figure out, we want to do some data mining and to look at some examples of other courses and programs to get some ideas of things that we can put together for the Direction from God course.
You're talking about like books and courses and stuff like that?
You mean things that we could put together?
Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about, like, for instance, what we want to do is we want to go where courses are being sold, where people are actually purchasing and they're getting involved, and we want to look at what are they doing well, and then like remix that.
What are they doing well to get the people, or what are they doing?
The offer.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And do you guys know what the difference between an offer and a product is?
Yeah. I do.
What about you, Cameron? It's okay.
Is an offer a product is something that you have for sale,
Yes.
and an offer is something that you're promoting or putting out there.
It's like
Close.
your sales ad. Your sales.
I'm not positive.
What about you, Mom? You said you know?
Yeah, a product is what we're selling, and then the what was the other question?
The difference between an offer and a product.
The offer is what you're presenting to them to guide them to buy it, to get it. What is it?
I'm glad that we guessed, because we learn a lot more from our guesses that we get wrong than the ones that we get right.
Yeah.
What it is, an offer. No, a product is just one thing, and it's like it's just a commodity. It's one thing, and with a product, you just like selling this phone or selling this laptop or selling like that pillow. The product is an item that it's transactional based business, where an offer is like piecing together what can I do to make this phone more valuable. Because when you're dealing with products, then people are trying to figure out, they go to Amazon and they look at what is the cheapest price with the highest reviews. What is the best and the least expensive is a race to the bottom in terms of pricing with a product. The thing is, if you cannot be the cheapest product on the market, there's no strategic advantage of being the second cheapest.
Right.
So why not just price yourself higher and create an offer instead of a product?
So an offer is a group of things that you're offering.
Yes,
Okay.
it's like a package. So with this phone, instead of selling a phone, I could say, okay, well, when you get this phone, it's going to come with this case, and it's going to come with like hours and hours of Bible study content and sermons and tutorials and trainings on how to start a self-supporting ministry. It's going to have the contacts of like successful evangelists, ministers, and gospel workers, and it has my phone number too, and you'll be able to get this. And so it's just like, what are the pieces that you can put together in order to create an offer rather than just one? So that's the difference. So like,
So we're gonna search for people's offers.
yes,
What they're offering.
yes.
So what we're doing is we're going to really highly successful people who do that, or are we going like in our niche to do that?
No, with the remix strategy, we're not limited to our niche. And in all reality, a lot of times our niche is not very advanced when it comes to
Yeah.
principles like this to know how to really help people the most. Our niche in ministry and service, and especially in the Adventist community, is very like theoretical, kind of more so. We can go to any industry, any market, and then see what are they offering. Whether it's worksheets, whether it's an hour coaching call, whether it's
Books or
whether like
mentoring.
that type of thing, or maybe it's like group coaching or whatever, or maybe it's an event or something where we'll be able to look to
What's
see.
driving people to buy the product.
And it might be, and it's mostly to help people to get results. We're thinking like, what would our dream student need in order to get the result that they're looking for, to help them the most? What would increase their chances of success in to be able to find direction from God, to find answers to their difficult questions, and to be able to navigate the stresses and confusions of life?
So it's like if they wanted to be a missionary and promote themselves, and so they sign up for you. They might not know that they need ClickFunnels, and so we would like add that in there, or because when they go through your course, then they'll say, "Oh, I need ClickFunnels." That's how he's doing it, and so then you send them to ClickFunnels.
That's a good question, but I don't think it's exactly like
It's just
that.
an example.
And the reason why is because if they don't know they need ClickFunnels, that's not what you put in the offer. You can give them, but when it comes to like canvassing and like co-porter work, and it's like you sell them what they want, you give them what they need. Like as a student, I mean, they don't really know what they need,
Yeah,
but
they
they
might
know what
need-
they want.
They might need ClickFunnels, but they don't know it yet.
Yeah, so that wouldn't be part of our offer.
Okay.
Even though we can give it to them,
Later
it's just
on.
not what that's not what we're saying.
So then it has to be something that's valuable to them.
They're
Yes.
irresistibly
Perceive as
valuable.
Yes.
valuable.
And we're talking about perceived value. Because something could be extremely valuable, but if they don't perceive it as such, then that doesn't really help. Like, hey, you get like 12 months to ClickFunnels, for instance. They're like, I don't care about
I
that.
don't even know that they need it, yeah.
So, and then also like with the phone, I mean, just this phone alone is maybe like $300, $400 or something. But with all the stuff that I included with the offer, then the perceived value goes up to, and it can go up to like $2,000 or something for the same phone, but the perceived value is higher. But that was one thing. Offered. So yeah, what we need to do is we need to consider what are some courses that we can look at and to see what they have to offer. Yeah. No, seriously, what are some?
Oh, you're asking right now?
Yes.
Like ClickFunnels, their offers.
What about ClickFunnels?
To look at their ClickFunnel,
Which one?
what they're offering to anything. What their offers are, how they present their offers. Is that what you're wanting us to do?
What I want to do is I want to look at some
Right now?
right now. That's what this is.
Oh, okay.
We're brainstorming the different things that we can provide in our program and in our course. What can we do to help people to get the quickest results to know how to study the Bible? Oh, this is what I was going to say. These components should be handling objections. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Uh-huh.
What do I mean?
You mean that if somebody's like, you're sharing with them that they want to get this, and then they're saying, yeah, but I need to ask my wife and pray on that or something. Or they say, yeah, but that's too much. Or they say, yeah, but that'll be available later on. I'll get it later. Or they say stuff like that. Those are objections. Like
Okay.
it costs too much. Or
Those are objections, but I'm asking, what does that have to do with the bonus or the components of the offer answering those objections?
Well, you want to know what's stopping them from taking that step, or whatever's stopping them from taking that step, answer that objection.
Yeah, like an example for the Direction from God program, one of the biggest concerns that I hear that pop up is that people say, well, when you're talking about a course teaching people how to study the Bible, they're like, oh, I don't know if I have time for that. Like, I want it, but I don't know if I have time. It's like, oh, okay, well, don't worry. When you sign up today, we have a bonus, Reclaim Your Devotions, and the first lesson is how to find more time to study the Bible while getting more done than you ever thought possible. And people are like, whoa, I need that.
I'll buy the course. Thank you.
It's like, I need to sign up for that program. And then other people, like, after interviewing all those people, like, what's your number one biggest challenge in maintaining consistent daily devotions? People said like 5 things, but one of them was like, I get distracted. I'm distracted by friends. I'm distracted by my phone, social media. I'm distracted by all these different responsibilities that I have to do. So then it's like, oh, okay. So when you sign up today in the Reclaim Your Devotions, we will give you a training showing you how to eliminate devotional distractions once and for all. When I talked to Maddie, he was like, I asked him, what did you like best about the program? And he's like, I like about eliminating distractions. I was like, that makes sense. But that was the bonus. Why? Because that would be the objection. The objection to sign up is that, well, I got all these distractions. I don't know if I'm going to be consistent with that. So it handles that.
Makes sense.
That makes sense?
It does.
So there's 3 types of objections that are around. There's and these are things that we can consider. There's the vehicle, which is like what we're teaching, the personal encyclopedia and studying what's relevant and things of that nature. Then there's internal, which would be like, internal would be like based on my skills or like doubt in myself. Is that like, well, I don't know how to read, or I don't know how, I'm not very technical, or maybe I am, I'm a slow learner, or I've struggled for so long, I don't understand. The spiritual things are so confusing. Like, that's an internal based objection. And then number 3 is external. These are the things the stories people tell in their head of why this Bible study program wouldn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be like I've got too many responsibilities, or I get distracted a lot while I'm praying, or how like it might even be something
Like you
like
don't
how do
have
I find time? Yeah.
So what is vehicle?
The vehicle is like what we're teaching, how to study the Bible, where it's like it's our course, it's our program, where maybe it's like eSword, or maybe it's Google Docs, or using those together, or using concordance, kind of those, piecing those things together. And it might even be like an electronic Bible. People who object to electronic Bible, and they say that it's like you only use a paper Bible and that's the only thing that you should do, that's what I've used forever, and it's wrong to use electronic stuff. That's an objection based on the vehicle. Does that make sense? So, like an internal objection might be like, I'm not technical. So we could provide them a training course, because that's also like what Wanda was saying too. She's like, well, I don't know if I'll understand how to do this technical stuff, and be like, don't worry about it, because when you sign up today, we can give you this technical training. It can be a training that goes step by step, like everything you're gonna need to know to implement this. That's what Jump Cut did. When you look at Jump Cut course, they had a whole technical walkthrough, which was really helpful. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So then the irresistible offer has to do with the vehicle, the internal objections, and the external objections too?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Okay.
So the goal here is to try to put as much as we can on the board of the different types of things that we can give people that will help solve their problems, and help get them results in knowing how to study the Bible, make decisions, understand God's will, and find answers to any questions that they have. Ask ourselves what prevents them from doing that, and let's create or put in our package, in our offer, what will be able to help them with that.
Okay.
And then what we can do is there's no crazy ideas, but just saying what will help them. We'll be able to put it on here, and we'll throw it all on here, and then once we get some ideas, once we see it all? Yeah, once we see it all, we'll be able to then filter and say, we're willing to do that, we're not ready to do that. That might be good in the future, or maybe we should put that further up in the value ladder. But like as far as this course, like we're figuring out what is our offer with the course.
Okay.
That makes sense?
It does.
Cool. Right on.
So you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So like coaching, for instance.
Yes, what kind of coaching?
There's group and one-on-ones.
Yeah, it's true. So we can
I think group coaching is good because they.
Let me explain this real quick. I'm sorry. I'm going to put that on there. Don't let me forget.
Right.
But there's 4 different categories that we could do. We can provide people. There's physical products. That can be like a physical Bible. And then there is
Digital.
written. There's a written word. And then there is there's a spoken word.
So like events and stuff.
Probably. I know definitely like our live casts. Live casts are
Spoken word.
spoken word. And then there is other stuff. That might be like a t-shirt. There's other stuff. I think a group event would fall under Yeah, events are kind of like other stuff. Like a private Facebook community, that would be other stuff. Music would be like spoken word.
So what would coaching be?
Coaching,
Is that other stuff?
It's a great question. Yeah. Coaching?
Well,
No, I think it's spoken word.
so say you don't want to spend too much time on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I don't know, Enoch, should I just like blurb out a few of them, or should I just be silent and let their thinkers go? Get going?
I don't know either. We could do one-on-one /
Groups.
group / 1 hour. We talked about doing 1 hour for people. That's kind of like onboarding or something. Oh, we could do like an onboarding call. Onboarding call for the first we could put scarcity on that. Like for the first 300 that participate, we'll onboard them. Answer their question or whatever.
We could do the mini courses.
And we can look at the link that I sent you all in the AOI sessions. Susie, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just listening.
Praise the Lord. Sounds good. And if you have any suggestions of something that could help people learn how to study the Bible, please feel free to share.
I'm working on it.
The all-in-one works.
All in one works. What do you mean by that?
Somebody's here.
That's
Praise
good.
the
Oh,
Lord.
it's the pastor.
Praise the Lord.
Send him a message, tell him to just come on downstairs, so.
Sounds good.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, it's
Good to
welcome,
see you.
guys.
So
Well,
good to see you.
Welcome, welcome.
Sorry.
Why do you make it? Let me send you this thing that we're looking at.
Okay.
This
And
would be good to put on the video.
yeah, it would be.
So all these things that you sent us are things to add to the irresistible offer?
They're things that we could,
Uh,
but not necessarily that we should.
so are we putting in this list what we should or what we could?
I think the things that we could with the efforts to try to figure out the ones that we're gonna do.
All right. So if we like not repeat what's on here would be good, right? And then put the other stuff up there, or what we think should go in the first one, the
Okay.
most from this list. What are you thinking?
Essentially, I think it would be helpful if someone could actually take note. Like while I'm writing on the board, Kamran, would you be able to write on the table
Which one?
the data mining offer remix?
What does in travel rolling university mean?
Where do you see that?
Am I in the right place?
Oh, that's a little different.
Oh, am I in the wrong place?
Just click the other Notion link.
Oh, okay.
The second Notion link, right?
I don't know.
Data mining?
Yeah,
offer?
data mining.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's sent to you, Brother Daniel, in the
Okay.
AOI sessions. And you
Oh.
have it up?
I have it on Notion.
Okay, cool. So what we're looking at is basically, we're trying to... I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
So am I.
So what we want to do is we want to look at some other courses or training programs and see what components do they have, what have they packaged together to help people to get the results from where they are to where they want to go. And that's going to be part of an offer. The difference between a product and an offer is a product is one thing, and an offer is like multiple packages, bonuses put together.
That answers those.
And they're all geared to help people to understand how to study the Bible better. And they're based on like what are the people's objections or challenges. Like the example that I gave is that in the Direction from God program, whenever you talk about teaching people how to study the Bible program, they're like, oh, I don't know if I have time. Like, or some people are, I ask them like, what's your number one biggest objection or like challenge in maintaining consistent daily devotions? The most common one was finding the time. So then it's like, okay, after you hear that over and over and over, you start to realize, okay, we're going to put together a bonus course, Reclaim Your Devotions. We're going to teach you how to find more time to study the Bible while getting more done than you ever thought possible. So then people hear that and they're like, whoa, I need that.
Yes.
So it actually pre-frames them where it answers their objection before they even ask it.
Okay.
So that's part of the training.
Okay.
So that's kind of like what we're looking at. And we saw there's 4 different categories. There's physical products. It might be like a written like workbook that we send out to them, or it might be it might even, I don't know, it might be like a t-shirt or something. The written word might be like a book, or it might be a ebook or a worksheet would fit under there. Spoken word would be like a live cast or a video or audio or something, podcast. And then other stuff could be like an event or something that connects with it.
Yeah, but wouldn't an event be a spoken word?
An event is like other stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because it does involve spoken word, but you're actually showing up physically and you're attending too. So it has other stuff than just words.
Okay. So then now where we're at right now, we're trying to figure out what to add to that, to get the dream student to buy your product.
No. We're not trying to get the dream student to buy a product. We want the dream student to be able to understand how to study the Bible.
And what it's going to take to get them to.
Yes. So the foundation is not what do we need to give them to buy the product. The question is, what do they need to transform their life? And if we focus on them transforming their life, then that's just going to be a result. They're gonna buy the course.
Well, I think we need to teach them something about sharing it, so it'll be more inside of them.
Yeah, it's true.
So what can we use for that? Maybe a course, a mini course, or write it out or something? Am I on the right track?
You are, and the reason why I hesitate is because I'm not exactly sure where that fits in a sense. Like if you notice, like group coaching or like a technical guide or like worksheets, like that's something that's like a component, but it's not necessarily like the content. But there's kind of like 2 things that we can't help them with is the content, which would handle an objection, and like the actual like one of these things. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I hesitate, because I wasn't sure where to put it. That's why you got confused. I sent you 2 lists because one of them deals with the things we can share. The other one deals with the format we can share it in.
So, did you explain to him the vehicle, internal, external?
No, I don't want to go over all that stuff again.
Okay. But that's important in what we're doing.
And Pastor Smith,
yes.
What do you? I think you know about Dave Ramsey's course a little better than I do.
Yes.
What is something that you think is very interesting about his offer in the Financial Peace University that you think could apply to like your course or our course?
In what manner do you mean?
Like one thing that I heard that was very interesting is he not only has a package online that people can go through, but he actually like put together this whole offer of like you got the DVDs, you got the guide, you have like this teacher's manual, and then you have the student handouts, and you can do like a small group in your home, or in
Yes.
your church, and you could do an event out of his
Yes.
trainings.
So one of the offers is if you can get people together to buy, then it'll be free to you. So if you want to hold a small group, it's not called a small group. It's like Financial Peace University. So, but if you gather a group of individuals who are paying for it, you yourself get it for free.
That's motivating.
That is very interesting.
But you don't get it you don't get the physical things. You get
Yeah.
the online things. Is what he gives.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that is physical is paid for.
Yeah,
So
it makes sense.
yeah, and the thing that he offers, he covers every aspect of it. So
So can I ask you a question? So when it's free for the teacher, does that mean like everyone else who's signing up is not free for them?
that's exactly right. Everyone
Okay.
else is paying.
Okay. And then what were you saying?
So everything that he's covering, so he has, even when you're done, he covers you with, he has something for teaching your high schoolers. He has something for, once you've done this, now it's a legacy journey, he calls it, what you're going to leave behind for those who come behind you. What are you going to do with all this money that you gather? He's going,
So he has a value ladder built into
yes. So
That's the back end.
everything, for everyone. So individuals, families, groups.
Wow, that's a lot
So
more.
he has every step they've covered. And then once you've gotten that, then what do you do with all the different? So yeah.
That's really neat. What are the physical things that he packages?
So he has his course online.
And you can pull it up too if you want.
Yeah. Then but he also has he has a book. So he actually has two different books.
And is the book like it's the same concepts of Financial Peace University?
It
right?
is the same thing.
Oh, it is. Is it called the same thing?
No.
Okay.
It's called Total Money Makeover.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So he has two different books, but yeah, that's one of them. But mostly, the book is just the guide on what to do, and then a bunch of people who have done it. So it's just their testimonies, and so it's just mistakes, things that you do, things you shouldn't do,
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, that's his entire show.
Yeah.
His entire show is a repeat of everything that he does over and over again, and he just has different individuals that come onto the show that they answer their questions, but he's answering their questions. He's saying the same thing he said thousands of times, and he still gets 16 million people to listen because people, they all pick it up, and anyway, it's
Sure.
timing. So
And just because they hear it, that doesn't mean that they do
Yes.
it, they believe it. or
yes,
they
and some have
understand
done parts of it, but not the
Yeah.
whole thing.
it. And then they go back and,
And then they go back
that's what
and
I was
say,
missing.
yes.
So do you remember what the physical thing, other than a book that he has? Didn't he? I find that interesting with a small group because I'm thinking like, what if we made it like it's a colporteur program where if you can gather a small group, not only is it free, but you can earn like commissions from
Yes.
the enrollments.
Well, the other thing that he does, which is really big, is he has other people teaching the same thing but different aspects of it, so they're connected but not completely. And
like affiliates or like
Yes.
other influencers.
yes, so he has other people that have podcasts like him. Some are on the radio, some are not.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, most are not. They also have books. They also cover some of the same thing, but they deal with one deals with, okay, you need to change your job. You want to make more money, but you're not in a job that so he has people that he brought in that bring in those other aspects of it. And so
makes
he
sense.
starts to deal with the emotional. He starts to deal with the family. He deals with he has a whole part of his work. I wanted to say ministry because that's what they actually call it.
Yeah.
Just for women. This is just for women. This aspect of it.
He is a pastor too, right?
No, I don't know that he's a pastor. I know he's a speaker, but I'm not sure if he's an actual pastor.
Really? I thought he was a pastor.
I know he speaks at a lot of churches, but I'm not sure about that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So,
That makes sense.
trying to think what else he has. I mean, He has books, he has DVDs, he has the whole thing.
Mom had her hand up. What's that, Mom?
Oh, I was just gonna share, some other ways is, guest speakers.
Okay, guest speakers.
But behind the scenes looks and making it a rare thing that's gonna expire.
So scarcity.
And coupons.
Yeah, coupons would be part of like other stuff.
Yeah, coupons and or coupons or however you say that. And another thing is
That's a way you can get the Dream 100 people involved too. You could provide coupons or discounts to other ministries that you want to support and help.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Sorry, Mom.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, and you put events, right?
Yeah. But there's a lot of different types of events too. This small group one seems very fascinating, because then you're getting into duplication.
Oh, and there's mentoring.
Is that the same as the coaching?
Oh, yes, that is. What was that other one I was gonna say?
Thanks, Cameron.
If you list out what they're gonna, like maybe the, what are they called, the contents or something?
But here,
So they can tell what they're gonna be learning.
yeah, I see like a certificate.
Oh, that's good too.
Yeah, people like
Like those.
certificates.
Well,
Put that up there.
yeah, certificates are great. The thing that he offers when you go through his program, you actually end up with something in hand, not just a certificate. There is the thing that you
Can you
value.
give an example?
Okay. The people that call into a show and they say, they want to do their debt-free screen. So he actually has an event where they can give their experience, and he goes through their journey with them, and everybody's listening is going through their journey with them as they say, okay, 24 months ago or 18 months ago, whenever it was we started, and then this is what happened in our relationship, and this is how our relationship changed. This is how we ended up working together. This is how we overcame, and this is what we overcame. I had $150,000 in student loan debts. I owed this much. Some do that, and then
So they like get up on the stage and then they just start sharing their testimony?
He has a stage that he's built there, but sometimes without the stage, he has just people call in. And so this is a huge part of what he does. This is them giving their experience and the result of that experience by following the plan, which is their testimonial, but their testimonial is, I did this thing and now my life has changed and this is what changed.
That's really interesting because I see your hand. There was another program that I was part of, and they had it was called Booked and Paid to Speak, and it was a speaking training, and they had a whole section that was just on case studies. And there are all of the past students sharing their experience of how through the course they booked speaking engagements and now they're doing full-time speaking.
Yes.
And it was just like 30 of those interviews, which like, wow. To me, I'm like, well, that's kind of neat. The testimonies are inspiring. But I could see how other people, they see that, and testimonies are powerful. That's how we overcome Satan and the blood, through the word of our testimony and blood of the Lamb.
Yes.
Mom?
And,
That's cool, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you all the time, people want to know what you're doing. They want to know. And if you could share how you used your tools, how that's affected you, and let them follow you and see it in action.
Well, yes.
That's very powerful. And people would love to do that.
Isn't that what the like basically a vlog does?
Well,
Well,
it's
can-
there's something
you can
more
do
than that.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I'm going
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm listening.
So, another podcast that I listen to, Glenn Beck. I don't listen to him as much as I used to, but he had a whole aspect of it where they would just follow through and see the behind the scenes and see him getting ready for the show.
Where would they see that?
They would just film it throughout the day.
Where would they post it?
It was just posted on their website. They were just it was things that
you
people
could do it as
On
a
their story?
video vlog.
Yeah, it was just like it was just one of those things to where just regular, like, okay, this is him in the makeup room, this is him, this is them talking about their meeting. So they have
But where would they post that?
they have a television station.
They
so.
put it on their TV.
Yeah. It's
as
just
part
this
of their,
is just a
their
part
program?
of
You
part
could do
of,
it as a daily live video.
or they just it's when you join, it's just one of those things where you can click. So
Yeah,
it is
just
one of
watch
those
it.
values that you get when you join.
love
You get
it.
some of the behind the scenes looks. So them during their guide talking about, well, how do we do this, or especially events when they're planning out the shows or doing things like this. Well, how are we going to do this? And then you see it's real, that they're real people. They're not. You don't just see the polished part.
Mm-hmm.
People want to see
And
some
they
of the
trust
before.
you.
They want to see you making the sausage, even though.
Come on, can you take a picture of this?
Click funnels.
Yeah, they want to know that they want to see that you're real, just like they are doing, fumbling or sitting there watching television like they do, or
Well,
stuff like that.
They do and they don't. They really want to see the difference between you and them. Those are the points that they really want. Not just that, yes, okay, you're real, but what is he doing that's different than what I'm doing?
Yeah, really, this is what they're looking for. They want to connect with you as far as like humanity goes. Like, hey, we're not too much different, but then they want to see like the results that you have. You're like, wow,
Yeah, how did he get
But
that?
we are
is
different.
this?
Yeah.
And it's like you are different, which is why I'm like following this, and I want to see what is your process to get there. Because you were like me at one point. They need that, otherwise people don't relate to our success as much as they relate to our pain. But then once they see that, then they'll be more interested.
Well, this is them wanting to see, you're sleeping on a couch or wherever you're sleeping, and then you don't know, or it's perceived that you don't know that you're being filmed when you get up. You go in, you brush your teeth, you come out, you sit down, you kneel, you pray, and you do your devotions. That right there is like, oh, okay, I brushed my teeth too, but I didn't come back, kneel, and pray, or I didn't pray when I got out of bed, or whatever it is. That's reality TV.
Yeah. And I see that Instagram is more like the reality TV of our day too.
Yeah.
And stories. That stories is where people really want to do that. Yeah, but where do I put that? How is that part of the offer? That seems like that's something that you shared to build traction, like at least like in the like social media goes, but
That's just bonus material.
yeah, it is.
Something fun. People like to have fun.
Well,
That would be fun for them.
Well-
Stick that in there. A little extra nugget. No? Okay. Let's see. What else? I was looking here.
whose beast is this? This yours?
I thought that was yours.
It's not mine.
Oh, that's mine.
Okay. I'm sorry.
One thing that I really want to do eventually, but we're not there yet, is I would love to put together a workbook. Like a printed workbook that people can like order and follow. I think that would be great. Like a physical, provided as an upsell. They can get the digital PDFs, but if they want the physical copy, they can just follow along. That'd be so great.
I got a list.
You got a
I found a
list?
list.
Where'd you find a list at?
HubSpot.
Okay.
They got ebooks, guides, webinars, live and archive, slideshows, kits, industry case studies, new industry research,
Oh, hey, kid.
Yeah.
templates, free tools, free trials, product demos, consultation, and coupons.
Oh, that demo was neat. How do you put together a kit? Like a medical missionary kit makes sense. Because there are good people like that. But what about a kit for like studying the Bible? What would that look like?
Maybe that
What?
would be an app.
Actually, that's actually very simple.
Great.
You can give them a study Bible.
Uh-huh.
You can give them the workbook. You can give them maybe put in like a timer. You know, even if they have it's just something that you put in. You can send them. You know, it comes with a notepad, everything that you would need for Bible study, just specifically for that.
That makes sense.
You know, and then you come with bookmarks.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, poster. Miller's Rules. Kathy's like pointing at the Miller's Rules poster.
Yes. So whatever it might be, you get, and that's bonus things you get in.
I know when I joined the Jump Cut program, one thing that I really liked and I thought was cool is,
Jump Cut?
Yeah, Jump Cut was one of the most life-changing courses that I've been a part of. It really helps explain a lot, which is the reason why I'm interested in courses. They have this. You've seen it, but I really like this because it was just showing the 8 traits of virality, and talk about how, like, you tell a story.
Oh, how to have something go viral?
Yeah, because it's Viral Academy is what it's called.
Okay.
And so these are people with like 5 million subscribers on YouTube, and they all teach you how to create viral content that goes viral every time. And so that there is actually traits that every single viral content has a part to. So it's a science. It's not just like some magical video goes viral or something. But there's actually people who consistently go viral over and over and over, and it's not based on their following. It's based on following these 8 traits and interjecting them into their content consistently. So they gave me this poster to kind of be like a reminder of what those traits are, and I'm like, wow, that is so cool. So we had it up in the school classroom for, I don't know, the whole time I was there.
So then another way we could package things is like put together like for Android and for
I wasn't expecting
iPhone
this.
to put different like a Bible, like he said, a timer. You could put on the William Miller's Rules of Interpretation with it. You could put on links that are good for them somehow. Do things like that.
Like
and have it like a
resources?
digital kit.
Oh, I want to put together kind of like a lexicon, but I don't know what to call it other than like a lexicon or dictionary or like some sort of like list of watchwords. What would you call? Is that a lexicon? Like a glossary or something?
I don't know. You could call it what are those called? Archaic. Just call it archaic words.
I don't know.
Hey.
What?
Just kidding.
No,
Did you want to say something?
Stretching.
Yeah, I thought you were.
Oh,
It's
I
a-
see.
it's either-
Yeah.
It's too obvious.
it's a expandable dictionary.
Expandable dictionary.
You know, or because lexicon is. When people hear lexicon, it sounds like something you go to college to deal with. You know, it's not something you have. When all the word lexicon is just dictionary.
Yeah.
It just
It's
literally means it's just a certain kind of dictionary. Hebrew dictionary, Greek dictionary. But if you change the name to something, just make it your personal dictionary or personal Bible dictionary.
Personal dictionary sounds like that is fits a personal curriculum, personal encyclopedia, and yeah, we could do something like that. I've always wondered what would be better to call it than that, but yeah, because I mean we could even call it watchwords, but I wanted to make a list of all the different watchwords that are taught in the program so that people understand like where they are, and it's a recap and a reminder of what those concepts were and where they were taught.
Yeah, they have apps to help you memorize scriptures. And you could send like your what is it called, the personal encyclopedia, you know, like a worksheet or something, how they could number it or organize it or something. Then put I don't know, just different things like that together.
These are good suggestions.
What, and I got another one on.
I had a quick suggestion for the offer.
Awesome, thank you.
What if we did something like health-wise? I mean, health goes hand in hand with the third angel's message.
Definitely. What do you recommend?
Well, maybe we can put something together, like maybe putting a little sheet of how health is spiritual, as well with showing them that there's not only 8 laws of health, showing from the spirit of prophecy and from the Bible, something like that.
Yeah. Something that I've thought about as far as health goes, I think it would be nice to have a training that shows people how, like, I don't know what to title it, but something to affect like basically how to study any disease in the like maybe not so much like what is going on with the health, but more of like how to learn about your specific challenge, and then giving people tools and tips and like resources that they can understand health for themselves. And then I think that would be a great opportunity to connect with the Dream 100, which is like our affiliate brothers and sisters who are able to really specialize in that, and then recommend like another course.
That was my other thing that I was going to say, is that when you do have another course available, like a new one, you might want to share with them, give it to them before everybody else gets it, or give it to them for a steep discount or something like that.
Well, as far as the health, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm done.
I apologize, his hand went up. I didn't put my hand up, I just opened my mouth.
It's okay.
Carmen put his hand up.
Yeah.
Okay, so this talk about health is actually reminding me of when I learned that health and spiritual things, like understanding spiritual things, understanding the Word of God, and my health had a lot to do with each other. And it wasn't until I realized that I actually started to take health seriously.
Yeah, me
Because,
too.
like, whoa, this, like, my diet, my lifestyle is clouding my mind and preventing me from understanding these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that brought about a desire that I didn't have before to get my health right.
Praise the Lord. So true. Yes.
It would be good to give them a list, maybe something that says habits for the brain.
Yeah.
Things like this, habits, and then also foods for the brain. Just list things if you want to be able to have a better spiritual understanding. Here are things that will help you. And rather than, a suggested schedule, suggested foods, suggested sleep. So those kind of things would really be beneficial, so that they can bring these. Here are foods that will help to increase, your brain's ability to understand.
Amen. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that. Thank you. Thank you for the suggestion, Susie. Appreciate it.
No problem.
And thank you for reintroducing me to Susie, Daniel. It's been a blessing. Praise the Lord. Yes, Mom?
And you might, if you're selling like a course, give them a free a free month on the what's it called? The live cast?
The monthly program?
The daily, I forget what it's called. Direction from God program.
Yeah, frequent. You know what we could do instead?
What?
We can give them as a bonus or a taste or teaser type thing. Like we could probably give them that one about habits, the first one, because when you listen to that, it was really showing the value of like ongoing coaching and ongoing training and how that is like so helpful and the value of mentorship increases over time. And so it like really casts a vision of what it's about. We could probably give that as like a bonus one and just say, hey, and then just like have a note in there, like an upsell within the course that is saying that it's like, hey, and we go live every month, and if you want to implement the things that you're learning in this course, then sign up for the subscription for only, and then send them over to the subscription page. I've seen Russell Brunson do that in several of his courses, and I'm like, whoa, I'm like, that is so cool. And there's others you could have in there. It's like, you could, there's others that it's like when you have the list of things that's being taught in the course, they have one lesson that is just like, it's locked. And it says, in order to unlock, you have to like order unlock, click unlock, and when you click, it goes to a sales page. And I'm like, wow, that's genius. Because it might be like on the One Funnel Away challenge, they were upselling another course that they did. And I'm like, that makes sense. So the people who said no at the one-time offer or the upsell page, they could say yes every single time they log in. I don't really know where to put that though. Oh, that was a bonus live cast. And I mean that's definitely true. I agree with the coaching program is the subscription one that we have, the Direction from God program. That is where I see the value in being like, as we're creating the courses, give them the content first off, give them like the best and the first, and then eventually like phase it out. Don't promise them lifetime access to some of the newer things that are coming in, and then but they'll get all the most up-to-date and recent things. And then once there's enough that it's like we did two whole months just on how to take notes you can easily access for years to come. So it's a taking notes course. And people, I remember actually on Sabbath when I was talking during the week of prayer, I was talking about like, have you ever like taken notes and you look back at your notes the next day and you're like, man, why did I put that? Like, what does that even mean? And then like so many people were just like, yeah, that's me. And like, I'm saying like, we should be having like note-taking classes. This could really help us, because it's like, how many of us are taught how to take notes? We're told to take notes, but how many of us are taught? And then I remember Elder Mike, he came up to me and he's like, yeah, you know what? The class on taking notes, I need that. I want that. And he represents like a large portion of people who want to know how to take notes.
So, a lot of people want it and they won't say it.
Yeah, most people don't really communicate that. So like a note-taking program, I think that could be like a one-time offer or an order bump or something that people have access to. Or maybe even a whole course on it, like a mini course on itself. But I see that if people are taking notes while they're studying the Bible, it's definitely something that would be good to share with them some principles. What are some other courses or programs like this that we can think of that are out there?
That other people are selling?
Yes.
Let's see. I could look up some. Another one we didn't say is that they could call you. Maybe speak an hour to them or something like that.
Isn't that kind of like what the onboarding call is? Let's talk about calling that. So I just actually found out that Arise is doing an online course. And they're giving it away for free. just for the month of April for 60 days. Yeah.
What's Arise?
Arise is David Asheray.
Who's that?
He's a famous evangelist in Adventism.
But you don't know.
It's okay. I don't really listen to his stuff. He had some really good stuff back in the day,
He's really
but
famous though. A lot
yeah.
of people like him.
But it's kind of like Amazing Facts and one of like the bigger ministries in Adventism, and like their Light Bearer ministry, they're part of Light Bearer ministry where they send out like millions of dollars, or they receive millions of dollars in donations, and they have like a massive publishing operations and sending shipments and shipping containers over to Africa and distributing literature and stuff. It's really interesting, but
The Amazing Facts is to it's the older version of personal ministries evangelism for the church, and Arise is the newer version that all those who are coming up now, since 2000, I guess, they're looking to the David Asheray kind of thing as the model. Amazing Facts was the model for those who are older, and Arise is the model for those who are younger. So a lot of the Thrives and other things like this have the David Asheray stuff in mind when it comes to how they organize, and he's the younger version of those things.
you look so old now.
But not to say that, again, yes.
Yeah,
Asheray.
but I hear what you're saying. That's interesting. I wasn't aware of that.
No, I'm just saying, just the nature of when you
Yeah.
look at, try to understand, the
Like
difference.
the methodology.
Yeah.
That's
Because
interesting.
they're doing something similar. It's just a modern, semi-modern look on it.
That's really interesting. Intriguing.
We could put other things that we offer, and put discounts on them. Or make a list of why they need the
Is that a
different
fit?
names.
Well, first of all, when you're marketing, you don't want to talk about what their need is. People buy for what they want. They don't buy because of their needs.
What about a guarantee?
Well, yeah, guarantees are given. We definitely want a guarantee for all of our programs. What was I going to put on here? What did you just say, Mom? Oh, coupons. Where did that fall? Like a discount fall under coupons?
Yeah, but more than a coupon, if you listed out the different products that you have, that they have access to,
That they have access to, or that they could?
that they could have access to.
So.
Like we have different products.
Oh,
that they
there
can-
is a name for that. I forgot what it was, but it was so neat. I know that there's a few people like Managing Like a Boss. He does that too. He has a list of other products and services. I don't know what you call that. I'll just say list of upsells. It's other ways to ascend in the value ladder to help them to know that they can get more value, more training. What are some other programs? I got Amazing Disciples on here. That is a course from Amazing Facts. I've gone through it. It's a $300 course. And one thing that I thought was really interesting about that is there's very little content that's actually created for Amazing Disciples online course. All it is, and this is an AFCO, this is an Amazing Facts Center of Evangelism, but this is their online school. And but the thing is, they have like a welcome video that's recorded by this other pastor, not Doug Batcher, someone else, and then they just repurpose like from years and years and years worth of content from Doug Batcher. Any time that he preaches a sermon on like the Great Commission or the Everlasting Gospel or like reflecting Christ to the world, anytime he preached on that, they just compiled in this massive archive of just topical evangelistic kind of sermons. And they have some good like hows and when. I mean, there's another thing that they did is they have this program called Amazing Disciples where they go into a church and they're like, okay, we're going to revive the church. We're going to train the church on how you can you can reach people who have fallen away, how you can overcome objections, which reminded me a lot of Eric Worre's, which I was like, wow, that's amazing. Which is something we could probably remix too, is overcome objections for evangelism. But that's one of the objections that terrifies people. That might fall under external, because they're afraid, like, what if other people say no? And they're like, what if I'm afraid I get rejected or something? That might be internal, external, but objections. But they had, so anyways, they're doing this training. It's like an event. It's at someone's church, and they just have like multiple speakers, different people, and then they're just sharing testimonies of them being out in the field doing evangelism and how they responded and how you can too. One thing that I realized with Amazing Facts is a lot of it was like the what and the why, which is the complete opposite of what I understand is like what you do with a course. That's more of the how. The what and the why are great for sermons, but then the how, like in a course, I understand it should be like tactical, very like step by step. These are the things that you can do. And they have a workbook. They have a big, lengthy workbook. Some of their assignments are like read a whole chapter on Desire of Ages, and then I think maybe like answer some questions. And there's a couple times where they give something like form or fort to like family, occupation, religion, and testimony. So, but those are kind of few and far between, at least from what I saw. And I went through like maybe 41%, for less than 50% of the program. But I thought that was very interesting to data mine that program. Yes, Mom?
By giving to charity, people that gets people to buy.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Giving to charity that gets people to buy.
There's not necessarily like an offer, or maybe it could be, I guess, but would that be accomplished just by saying like, and your contributions goes towards helping to support ministers and gospel workers sharing evangelism, or like making the price of the course like a donation basis? Similar concept, or accomplishes that?
Well, I wouldn't say make the price of the course donation basis.
In ministry,
But
that
take a part of it and send it somewhere or do something with it.
in ministry, that's usually how we like sell books, or like given on a donation basis. It's like a suggested donation of like $20 to $40, or
We'll do that with
Because if you don't do it that way, then you cross into another line, which is business versus ministry. Because
Yeah,
if there's not the possibility of you giving it away for free, then that's why you do donation. So if they send you, the government says, okay, somebody from the IRS is going to send you, they don't tell you, they'll send you $2 for something that you said that was, $75, and you don't give it to them, then they can say, in reality, this is not a church, it's a business. Because everything you're doing is business-like. That's why you use the word donation. Suggested donation. Anyway. Eric Worre, who is that?
okay. So Eric Ward, great question. He has a lot of courses, and
good ones.
he's one of the highest paid speakers in the world. He's a guy who specializes in network marketing. He has really good, like really powerful training. Almost everything that I know about overcoming objections in ministry and evangelism stuff, I learned from him with network marketing, and he like transformed the way that I learned about objections. He was explaining there's only two types of objections, and it's very similar to this. It's an objection about your vehicle, or an objection about themselves. And it might be like and he says the way that you answer any objection is listen, relate, and you tell stories. So you listen to whatever their question or concern is, and as you ask them questions about, maybe it's like the rapture, it's like my brother said this, or like my dead mother like spoke to me and she said this, and you're just listening to what they're saying, you're like, oh, okay. And then you relate, and you're like, I know what you're saying because I went through a similar experience, or my friend, and then you like tell a story. It's like, my friend went through this experience where he was talking to this person, but then he read, and then you tell the story, which is like in the scriptures, the dead know not anything. And then he realized, like, wait a second. And then he read that there are spirits of devils working miracles, and they're deceiving the world. And then my friend realized, wait a second, that wasn't my father. That was a spirit, because my father is asleep waiting the resurrection. And then it's like that epiphany. And so that's how you overcome like any objection, and just listen, relate, tell stories. I was like, whoa, that's powerful. But the point is, he has.
But you want to tell the truth.
He has. Of course, that was the truth.
Yeah, I was just saying, you want to tell the truth.
Oh, okay. But
Telling stories is equated with lying.
Some
No, I'm just talking about, that's the nature of the phrase.
Mhm.
Are you telling stories? Meaning, are you
Can be.
lying? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a general understanding. So even though it's correct what he's saying, I'm just saying that the phraseology,
Yeah, to some it might be a little confusing.
to those who are
acquainted
past a
with
certain
that.
age,
Yeah, so he has like maybe like 15 to 20 courses, and he's
good.
definitely earning more than like several $1 million a year doing that. But the key of that is, one of the reasons why you want to look for things that are actually working is because there's something that's called like a red ocean, and then there's like a blue ocean. Where the red ocean is like where there's a lot of like, it's a concept where there's like a fisherman goes over to this blue ocean and he's finding a lot of fish, and he's like gathering a lot, and then eventually, like as he's like catching all these fish, then like the sharks come in, and then the sharks try to like compete and eat, and then because there's so much shark, there's a lot of blood in the water, and just fish are just dying and stuff. So it's really intense to try to fish in an ocean where there's a lot of competition that's going on. So the concept is, what you want to do is, you don't really want to go just to where there's a shark and a lot of competition in the marketplace. And it's the same thing in ministry too. You're not trying to compete with like things like amazing facts, amazing discoveries and ministries that are like large and already established and doing things. Like, they're the go-to people for that. And like, you don't want to compete. What you want to do is you want to complete. You want to find a blue ocean. Who is an audience that is not being served? Who is an audience that does not have services being provided to them, that they got questions? And it would be like a lot of times it's a sub-market. You have to go into a niche, or you have to go more narrow in your focus in order to reach them. But this is where innovation comes in, where you have something unique, something different. And then that blue ocean is something where you're able to serve them, and there's no competition, and you're not competing with the people established. You're actually providing a service that they don't, and so it's easier to do the Dream 100 process with them, to partner with them, where they will help to share your solutions, and you can help to share their solutions, because you're not in competition in what you're doing. You're actually helping each other out. And in ministry, I don't believe there's really any competition. We're all co-laborers, not competitors. However, I do find that sometimes in ministry, one ministry may try to be all things to everyone, and I realize that in the effort to try to be everything, then it's a lot harder to do those things well.
Yeah, they exhaust themselves and their resources.
That's true. And other people who are trying to do everything, it's just like they're a lot harder for them to work together. The fact of trying to be the whole body, it's harder for other ministries to co-labor. But once ministries start to realize what blue ocean are we serving, are we helping, and they get their like niche, like the heart knows its function of the heart, and the kidney knows its function of purifying the blood. So then the heart and the kidney can cooperate, knowing that they're not doing the same function, but that doesn't mean one's better than the other. It just means that they're completing each other and they need each other. So as blue ocean strategists, as blue ocean ministries and services, they're able to complete and form together a lot better than if they're going in the red zone. Now I say that because like that was one thing too with the how to study the Bible. Once I started to interview, I was just interviewing like pastor after evangelist after teacher. I'm just like, how are you maintaining your devotions and living life and being ready to teach on like church service, I mean, Sabbath every day, and then Wednesday prayer meeting, and Bible studies during the week, and then you travel and speak and you do things. It's like, what are you doing to maintain all of that and still live your life? And then I'm like, I don't want to know just the general principles of like how to study. I want to know like, actually, what are you doing? What are you using? What are your tools? What is your process? When you start, what does it look like? How do you keep track of these things? And I would ask him these questions, and then I realized, I'm like, wait a second. There are consistent themes with just about every single person I talk to. They were all doing the same thing. And I've been doing that for years too, and I realized, wait a second, if this is what we're all doing, then, and we're able to teach, be ready always to give an answer, and there's no, the average church member does not know this at all. The stuff that we share at church is not that. And I'm like, wait a second, why aren't we teaching the people these things? And I'm like, this is what they need to hear. And so once I realized that was kind of like my epiphany in realizing the blue ocean there is that there's a lot of trainings on what the Bible says, but not as much on how to find it. And then sometimes the way, like I'm guilty of it, sometimes when I teach how, oh, that was red. Anyways, sometimes when I teach how to study the Bible, it was more theoretical. It was like more sermonizing and theory based, and it wasn't as practical. Just a bunch of concepts, and then people are trying to figure out, how do I apply that to my life? So that creates a blue ocean where it's able to complete and it's complementary to a lot of different ministries. But one thing that's very valuable, I bring this up because the red ocean is very helpful, because when you look at something that's already established, it's already working, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You could see what are the people with arrows on their backs. Like they've gone before, they've tread the field, and how can you build on their foundation? Like they're the pioneers. So you're able to see like, what did they do that was successful? And that's kind of like what we're doing here. We're seeing like for instance, Financial Peace University, this guy's been around for a long time. I mean, he like, whatever he's doing, his program is working, and he's able to share it with like $200,000 worth like a month, or like at certain times, and fluctuate. But like, he's getting this training, this valuable training, into the hands of a lot of people. Yes.
One of the things he did, we started off he lowered the price and increased the sales. This is one of the things. So what used to be $300 is now $129. And in 1 month he'll have 4,000, and another month he'll have 5,000, and then.
Is that a temporary price reduction?
It was. Now they just sell it at that price because they found that that's the sweet spot where people are willing to spend that much on something that they think they need, but it's not. $300 is a much bigger bite to find in the budget, but you spend a little more than $100 on, going to the grocery store, go to Costco, whatever it is, and so you're able to buy it, and then you get it for a year, and it gives you access to all the online things. You get none of the physical stuff, but everything online. But
so it's a subscription. Interesting.
Yeah. So, but it's paid up front. The other ones that are doing that, Glenn Beck does the same thing, where his subscription, they used to do the monthly, but now they almost only sell primarily, because they used to be able to do it, $9 a month, whatever. Now they want the entire year up front. And they're fine because they found that people will take it for a month, and then after 3 months or 6 months or 8 months, whatever it is, cancel it. But once they pay for the year, they'll give this, and then they'll give discounts for that throughout the year to lower it. And their income levels have gone up dramatically versus the other where, okay, how long are they going to stick with it? What do I have to do to keep them coming?
Yeah, the retention.
And that's an issue. So yearly subscription is better, but it depends on what it is that you're trying to do. At least this is what I've seen with these who are making millions of dollars, to where their business model is just a subscription. Glenn Beck recently just cut out the whole television thing where they're on
He cut out his television?
No, not the television where you're on cable.
Mom, did you hear that?
He ended it.
I was trying to tell her TV is dead.
No, TV is dead. TV's only alive because people don't realize that once you truly kill TV, you change everything.
Yeah.
TV is actually needed, and you don't want the bones of it to go away because it's the means of production, and a lot of money is in production. But
It's like
it's something that's dying.
it's like you lost your mother from Alzheimer's, but her body continues for several months on life support. But
Yeah.
she died a while ago.
Yeah. So, but this thing is, once it's gone, those who are consuming all of their other material, from YouTube and all the other places that they're getting it, they don't realize that all of that stuff was truly funded by that dinosaur back there that they're ignoring and that's dying. So, and then unless that dinosaur finds a way to get into a new market, it's
Which a lot of TV hosts and personalities are like radio is moving to podcasts, and then reality TV is moving to Instagram, and then news is going to Facebook, and so a lot of these people are kind of like
they're finding a new niche or a new they're innovating or they're gonna die.
Yeah, it's innovate or die. That's right. Kodak couldn't see a digital photography. They're like, no, we're film. Like they own the moment at one point. That's a Kodak moment.
Yeah.
But then when they pass on the digital cameras, it's like they tanked. They couldn't see beyond that.
Because they couldn't see that their world was changed. They didn't recognize that even though they themselves were the innovators.
Yeah.
The innovators always think they're the innovators until they're innovated.
That's like the red and the blue ocean, and it's like the reformers going through the same process too. But that's why we can learn a lot of lessons from the pioneers, and then we can just build on their foundation and keep going. But that's why I believe it's so powerful. An army of youth rightly trained. It's the collaborating of the age and experience with youthful and energetic and multi-generations coming together.
What's the quote that she says that's most important? And I apologize. I'll give you this last thought. Let us all continue to be learners. Educate. If we stay on the edge of education, then we won't become dinosaurs, no matter how old we are. But if we say we get to a place like older people like to get to a place where there's not much change, that's when they place themselves in a situation to where they're going to
Rust out.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
It gets stuck.
Stagnant.
So I think what we can do is, I guess, choose the things that we're willing to do. And I'll say that the purpose of this exercise here is so that we can put together a webinar to teach people how to study the Bible, 3 secrets that helps handle these 3 objections and concerns that they have, but it helps to transform their mind regarding some of these things. And then give them, one thing I'm realizing is once you can train them for like 60 minutes, then it's like you can give, one of the best ways that you can serve them and help them is by helping to switch up the false beliefs that keeps them from studying their Bibles. And once you destroy those false beliefs, then it's like casting down the idols of Babylon. Then they're ready to implement. They're ready to put this into practice. And once they do that, then it's like you're like, well, I want to train you, but I don't, like in a 60-minute presentation, I don't have the capability to give you everything you need to succeed, which is why we put together this course that actually shows you the step-by-step of the how. So in the webinar, you're showing the what and the why, what the Bible says, why we should do it, how we can, like what we can study and why we should. But then we're like, if you want to go deep, and if you, like the way that I can help you the most is inside the program where you're actually learning the step-by-step and the training and the tactical. And then people are able to retain that a lot better. Yes?
And what it's worth too. It's like, what is it worth to not feel guilty when you ask for forgiveness? What is it worth to be able to overcome sin? You know, there's things that people really want, and they might not see, like they might think that they already know how to study the Bible. I thought I knew how to study the Bible, but that's because they were taught the wrong way. And if we could show them what it's worth to know how to find relevant situations in the Bible or something like that, you know, what it's worth to them. Because it's like a struggle trying to find those things, or a struggle trying to find the time, or it's, you know, all those things that are a struggle for people.
Yeah, it is a struggle.
If we show them what it's worth and then show them what it actually costs, they'll be like, yeah, sign me up.
But
Do you think that most offers have some sort of small group where they
A
all
community?
come together to talk? Yeah.
I don't know if most. I know some do, some don't. But I know people like community. Community is one of the things that increases retention when they feel like they're a part of a community.
But I guess if we had that, you'd always have to have a person on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of
making sure
maintenance
that
of a
there's-
community.
Yeah, making sure they're not saying something off the wall,
Well,
fishing in your pond or something.
Well, I don't know if that would necessarily be too difficult of a challenge. What were you going to say, Pastor Smith?
well, I was just gonna say that there are people that there are people that get excited about it and they want to be able to do something, and you can give them the direction and allow them to have that, you know, and so and it becomes self-policing, you know. So Dave Ramsey has a whole group on Facebook that all they do is encourage and talk to each other about the different things that he says, and he's not even on it. He has nothing to do with it.
But he has moderators.
Yes, but then sometimes he on the radio he'll chastise them about, listen, you guys are too hard. Like, you know, you guys got to have mercy. You know, he'll remind them, you know, this is not, you know. So you'll hear him talk about these things about, okay. And some people will call like, hey, I was on this group and I saw this thing and I was wondering, is this true? So they'll leave the group and go ask Dave. And then they'll go back to the group what Dave said.
That's funny.
So we need a guarantee for sure.
Well, yeah, the guarantee is given. That's like, I don't know if that's necessarily part of the offer.
And you actually don't want to put a guarantee in.
So.
You know why? Because things are only guaranteed according to what they put in.
Right, but what you're guaranteeing is not results, you're guaranteeing satisfaction. So if you're not satisfied, then you can have your money back for whatever reason. And the risk reversal is really key, because if people feel like there is this big risk involved, then it's like, then they're way more reluctant. But when you show them, it's like, look, there is a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. You can cancel anytime within 30 days for whatever reason. Then they're like, oh, well, then I have nothing to lose. And then you can let them know, it's like, look, the only way, like, you want to know if this will work for you, the only way that you can really know is if you dive in, you go through the training, and if this doesn't satisfy you, if this doesn't help, then just ask for your money back. We will give it to you with no questions answered. And the truth is, if we can't get the results, we don't really deserve their finances or their help with that. We want to help them to be all that God has called them to be. Otherwise, it's harder. But I think that the guarantees are helpful for the risk reversal. Yes, Mom?
I think putting a kid in there would be something good to do.
What are you talking about?
To put a kid together and
Oh, kids.
offer it.
Oh, okay, I see. I thought you said a kid. I'm like, I was just thinking like, man, YouTube's gonna like shut us, confine our channel to like children's.
I think a kid would be good.
Yeah, a kid would be good. I think what we should do, because of the like time, we're kind of like, it's been a while. We should probably like call this good for now, and hopefully this is an educational experience. Did you learn something, Pastor Sid?
Take a picture of it,
praise the Lord.
Pastor.
I wrote it all down.
We should probably call it good here. And truth be told, I actually scheduled this. I knew that when doing a webinar, we need to have an irresistible offer first. But I actually, since then have learned that there's actually other steps that would be good to do first. And this week, we're going through a course, and it's designed to listen to some training and then do it. Listen, implement. So we're going to do that today and tomorrow, Mom and I, and I realized I kind of skipped ahead. I thought this was the first step, but really getting more clear on a dream student, what their pain points are, and really figuring this out. What are their challenges? This adds a whole lot of clarity to identify this. So, but we scheduled it, and I was like, well, this will be a good exercise and educational experience too.
Do you want me to put that on AOY Publishing, that picture? Or
No,
where do you want it? Do
it
you
could
want
go on the
anywhere?
AOI session.
Session.
But how about we close here? Are there any last questions? All right. Pastor Smith, would you like to pray for us?
Sure. Father in heaven, thank you so much for the opportunities that you give us. Thank you, Lord, that even though there are many things that we have learned and things that we thought that we knew and understood, that there is so much more. There's an infinity beyond. And we're grateful that your ways are not our ways and your thoughts are not our thoughts, and that your ways and your thoughts are higher above the earth as our thoughts and our ways. And I'm so grateful, Lord, that we can come together and that we can learn, and that these things that you have given us, that these things can be brought together, that we might do a more perfect work, that we might better reach those whom we are seeking to help, that we might, Lord, do all those things that would be pleasing in your sight. I pray, Lord, that the things that we have gained today and the things that we are continuing to go into would help us, Lord, that we might perfect that which you have given us to do. I pray, Lord, that the gospel shall go to the ends of the earth, and that the knowledge of the glory of God would be as high as the sea. And Father, I thank you again for your grace, and be with those that have gathered here, and both online and in physical. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Praise the Lord.
Can I get a picture of that, Enoch?
Sure.
Thank you.